Hi, good afternoon, everybody. We are about to get started. Just let me know if you're hearing me. The internet is actually what keeping us back. It's moving very, very, very slow. So I'm trying to currently upload our notes from the handout I gave you guys. But before we discuss anything further, just confirm that you can hear me by saying good afternoon in the chat. I'm currently just trying to upload our matrices handout so we could have it here and we could go through it together one time. So let me see. Right, we got it. Where is that one? This is here already. Okay. All right, so hope everybody okay. Now remember we're on a tight schedule, so we need to try to see how much we could accomplish. So let me share the handout. All right. So quick question, guys. Let me first identify who's absent because everybody needs to be here. So I may have to make a call out too, especially CXC students. What was the last thing that we did though? What was the last thing that we did at our last class with matrices? Did we actually start multiplication of matrices? Mhm. Guys, hello. Did we finish multiplication of matrices? Where's patience? Y'all hearing me? Like they matter. That's a question, guys. Like what's happening? I asked if we finish um multiplication. How much examples did we do? We started. How much examples we did? Um, I need to call Patience. I need to call Jorencio. I need to call Jaden. So I need to call those students before we continue. Yeah, the internet on my choppy as well. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do in the meantime. I would like you guys who were there to see if you could answer simple questions just to refresh your memory, multiplying two matrices. So, because again, what we're gonna move on to would be extremely complicated if you don't know how. So, when I finish making the calls to the students, we will recap that quickly and I'll try to go over it as much as possible for Kaz. So we could finish majority of this today. We have to. So head up the date in your books, and you're gonna say M M is equal to this 2145. P is equal to this 6037. Find MP, that's 1, and 2, find PM. Everybody seeing the question? Please confirm they're seeing the question before I go to make the calls. Gav said yes. Nadesia, waiting for everybody else. Aravo, come on, let's go, let's go. Just gone there. All right, so start working on that salon, guys. Yeah. All right, guys. Everybody ready? So we're gonna get started now. Let me just take register of who is here because that's gonna be very important because I am sending my email confirming those who are going to write the exam and those who are not by next week, Wednesday. So, yeah. Persons who don't attend online sessions on Sundays, persons who don't try and make it to class. Yeah. Gavisha is here. Kaz absent. Who is iPad? Kevin, see me call you. You know you ain't got an SBA grade, right? So you need to call me as soon as class finish because I called you and it wasn't Sunday I called you on Tuesday when we had class. So you need to get in contact with me as soon as class is finished for you to figure out what you're doing about the SBA. Because you missed the whole entire thing. Because today I'm sending it out for persons to copy, collect the data and yeah. All right, guys, if you are ready, just let me know that you are here by saying ready, and we're gonna get straight into it. Two, three. That's 3 out of 7. 4. 5. 6. Who's the last person? Kyle? All right, guys. So let me see some of the answers that you got. Let me see what y'all are working with. Anybody got any answers? If it didn't, that's okay. We're going to do it now, but did anybody get an answer? Don't forget how you would send your answer in the order. Soon reach home in a minute, Miss V. Okay, no problem. So let's take a look. When you're multiplying matrices, the first thing I'm going to do is write down the order. So the order of this matrix is a 2 by 2. 2 rows, 2 columns. The order of the second matrix is a 2 by 2. 2 rows, 2 columns. So how do we know if we could multiply these two? We check to see if the center numbers match. Because they match, it means that we could multiply these two matrices and our answer matrix would be a 2 by 2. So let's map out that space. That means we need 2 rows and 2 columns. Drawing our brackets. So before we start, what do we need to do? We need to identify the rows from the first matrix. So we circle it. So that's our rows. So that's the top row. That's the bottom row. Then we circle our columns. This is our left column. This is our right column. You know what I'm going to do in the future? I'm not going to cancel class because of the rain. If it rain, yeah, we ain't got to drown in the school because I feel like, yeah. Next, we're going to find the positions. So the positions is, this would be top left, top right, bottom left, bottom right. Right? So these are the combinations that we're using. So for this position, I need to use the top and the left numbers. So remember, we're pairing it. So it's the first 2 numbers in each. So what's the first number in the top? 2. What's the first number in left? That's 6. So that's where we have 2 times 6. Plus, what's the second pair? The second pair would be 1 and 3. So 1 times 3. Now let's use top right. So we're using the top numbers and the right numbers. What's the first 2 numbers in each? 2 times 0. So write 2 times 0. What's the second 2? 1 times 7. So plus 1 times 7. Let's do bottom left. What's the bottom combinations? So bottom is 4, left is 6. So it's 4 times 6 plus what is the second pair? 5 times 3. 5 times 3. Let's do over here, top right. So we're using top. No, we're using bottom right, sorry, because that's what BR means, bottom right. So that is 4 times 0 plus 5 times 7. How do I know that I did the right thing? Watch the numbers that should be matching. Times 6 times 6 times 3 times 3 times 0 times 0 times 7 times 7. That's supposed to be a 7. Yeah, it is a 7. All right, so now we could multiply and get our answers. So this will become 2 times 6 is 12 plus 3, 0 plus 7, 24 plus 15, 0 plus 10. So we can end up with, though that's 35. Sorry, that's a 7, not a 2. That's a 7. So that's 35. So our final answer is going to be 15, 7, 39, 35. If you got it, say got it, please. I just want to make sure we remember how to multiply before we move on. Very good. On to everybody else. Excellent. All right. So let's continue, guys. Get your hand out because you're gonna have to you need to circle some stuff. You need to underline some stuff. So I've asked you to find MP. Anybody found MP or no? I just wanted to see something. Anybody get to do it? I just need to know yes or no. What answer you get for MP? Hold on, let me fix my pen. Was the answer you get for, so this was PM, this was MP, and PM. Everybody find PM for me, please. Tell me what the answer is for PM. Remember, when you do PM, well, you notice you have to, did you switch them? You had to switch them, right? So let me do it just in case, because I want to make sure we're on the same page. So you write P first. P is 6037. M is equal to 2145. And then we circle our rows and columns. Row. So we got new rows and we got new columns. So PM is equal to rows times columns. So we know we got 4 positions. So Kazuri, look at you, pick up yourself. Good job. So let's see if you have everything correct. So there we go. It can be 6 times 2 plus 0 times 4. Right? Then we're gonna have over here 6 times 1 plus 0 times 5. Here we're gonna got 3 times 2 plus 7 times 4. Then we're gonna have 3 times 1 plus 7 times 5. So this can become 12 plus 0, 6 plus 0. Right? Then we're gonna have 6 plus 28. And then 3 plus 35. So our final answer would be 12, 6, 36, What? Oh, you get 38. Between 34, 34 and 38. Everybody see that? So my next question is going to be this. So this was PM. Let me erase this. This is PM. So my question to everybody is multiplication in matrices commutative? Yes or no? You can make a guess if you want. Take a try. Is multiplication of matrices commutative? Gav say yes. What about everybody else? I expect to see 7 more answers pop up. It's just a yes or no. I'm about to say no. I have a headache, but that's okay. Ladies, let's go waiting. Is it commutative? Literally just got type 3 letters or 2. What commutative mean? The answer is no. What commutative mean? Commutative, it mean if you have something and you switch the order, it's supposed to give the same answer. It's no, because PM is not equal to MP. Therefore, not commutative. Everybody with me? If it was equal, if these numbers here was equal to these numbers here, that means even though we switch the order, we would get the same answer. That means it's commutative. What is commutative? If I was to add, but when I add in, I would get the same answer. So this would be commutative. Yes, commutative. Please copy that down. When you finish copying that down, let me know. Plus one person done. So let's get into it. Now, listen to me, guys. Everything we're going to do from now on is actually the CXC questions. So I need y'all to pay attention and focus and write down and underline what I ask you to write down and underline. So far, we've done addition, we've done subtraction, we've done scale and multiplication. We know how to multiply, right? Now, we're going into something called the identity matrix. What is the identity for addition in maths? Anybody know? What is the identity for addition in maths? If you don't know what identity be, we did this. That's the first thing we ever learned in class. And I think I gave it to you at another point in time as well. Anybody know? All I need to know is yes or no. If you know. If you don't know, just say you don't know. It would save us time. What is the identity for addition? For Gab, say addition. That's one person. I feel like I'm begging people to answer. So if that's the case, let me know, please. So I'm gonna ask one more time. And I'm gonna say this one more time. If you don't know something, you could just simply say not sure. I don't know. That's fine. But I need people to respond. Okay, that's okay, Trev, if you don't remember. Now, let me give some context and see if it helps. The identity for addition is a number that if you add it to any number, it does not change the number. That means the number remains the same. It keeps its identity. So what is that? Zero. So zero is the identity for addition. Everybody with me? This is very important because no matter what you do with zero, no matter what you add it, I should be careful, is add. Because you know what happens when you multiply, right? So it's when you add zero to any number, it doesn't change the identity of the number. So that means what would be the identity for multiplication? Excellent. What is the identity for multiplication then? If zero is the identity for addition, what is the identity for when you're multiplying? Okay, Nadesia says one. Anybody else? One. Excellent, guys. Very good. Is one. Because no matter what I multiply by one, it can always do what? Remain the same. Okay? So I want now to look at this concept here. M would equal the same number. Excellent. Great. Now, in matrices, obviously, what do we notice? We can't just got one single digit. So how would I write zero as a matrix? Anybody want to guess? Suppose I want a 2 by 2 matrix that is the identity for addition. How you think it's gonna look? It's gonna look like this: 0, 0, 0, 0. Everybody with me? For a regular number, it would just be zero, but in matrix or matrices, it would be this. So what do you think it would be for the identity for multiplication? If we remember what we spoke about before, when we spoke about the diagonal matrix, where the numbers in the diagonal is one and all other numbers would be what? Zero. So guess what? That's one version of the identity. Do you know that there's another version of the identity? What do you think? How you think that look? So there's going to be one, one, one. So how would that look? 0, 0. Only the digits in the diagonal would be 1. So this is how the identity looks as a matrix. This one is a 2 by 2. What is the order of this one? Anybody? What's the order of this third one? Excellent. 3 by 3. So let's go over this because this is extremely important. The identity is a number that doesn't change in number when you apply it. So that's why for addition, 0 is the identity because no matter what you do to 0, if you add it, it's not going to change. Everybody with me? Let's make sure we all could say got it for the first one. So if I was to take this and add it to a matrix that's 2 by 2, it wouldn't change the matrix, right? I'm waiting for confirmation, please. Okay. All right. So that means we're good to go with this one. Now, everybody understand how the identity, how do we write one in matrices? We write one just like this. So if you need a 2 by 2 identity, this is how it is. And let me ask you a question. Would you be able to generate the 4 by 4 identity? And y'all think y'all will be able to do that? I was asking if I was to ask you to do the 4x4 identity, would you be able to do the 4x4 identity? We did the 2x2, the 3x3. Would you be able to do the 4x4? I just want to confirm. Do it for me now, please. Let me just make sure we're on the same page. Do it for me first, and then when you're done, sit down, and then I'm going to give you the answer. When you finish, just sit down. That's the part you're going to have to figure out. That's the trick part. That's what I want to see if you're going to be able to know where you should put the zeros and where you should put the one, if the ones. So I can't give you no hints, but I believe you got this. Anybody? Anybody think they got it? You could just try even if you ain't get it right. Okay then. I see what Gav posts. We agree. How's she looking? That's commitment. Big up you for typing up that. That's it. That's it. Excellent, Amanda. Very good. Very good. Very good. Before we continue, everybody, okay? I have a little headache, so that's why my voice sound like this. So, but I just want to make sure everybody okay and everybody following. I hope I'm comfortable. Don't be too comfortable for you to fall asleep. Okay? I sitting in a hard chair. Mine's too, because every minute is saying internet quality dropping. It's like when it rain, no good internet. Okay, so let's go, guys. We could do this. So I'm gonna show just what Gav posted was exactly the answer. So thank you for trying. Now let's get into the scary. Well, no, let me don't say scary. Yeah, it's the internet. It's the internet. I'm sorry. Okay, everybody have their hand out because we're going into the thick of it. Into the thick of it. All right. So now, this concept now is one of the most popular. I have to sit up and raise my voice because yeah. This concept that we're about to do is one of the most popular questions that come in the exam. So before I go through that, I want to make sure you understand what we're working with. So hold on. Jesus Christ. My pen has a shot. Okay, I think we got it now. Now, everybody watch this. What do we know about inverses? So for example, if I have positive 3 minus 3, do we agree that these are the additive inverse of each other? Come, I need everybody to respond faster because no, this is where we get serious. So answer as fast as you can. Everybody should be locked in because I'm not teaching this over. So we know positive 3, negative 3. They are inverse on the addition. What is the answer when we subtract 3 from 3? What do we get? 0. Let me switch this so that you can see something. Negative 3 plus 0, not 0, plus 3 would also give me 1. This would also give me 1. These are opposites of each other. So what are they going to do to each other? Once something is the opposite of each other, they cancel each other out. Inverses cancel each other out to give you the identity of the number. Isn't that true? Because isn't 0 the identity? So what we need to know is that inverses cancel each other out. That's not how to spell cancel. Inverses cancel. That's how to spell cancel, right? Yes. Cancel each other out to give the identity. This is very important. Please copy this down. So that's the inverses, and these two would be your identity. And this is for addition, because remember, identity would be different for addition than it is with subtraction. No, when it comes to multiplication, if I had 2, what's the inverse of 2 on the multiplication? Anybody remember? I feel like this is a concept we just touched on recently. What's the inverse of 2 on the multiplication? No. -2 is on the addition. 8.5. Because 2 is the same thing as 2 over 1. 2 over 1. 2 over 1 is the same thing as 2, so that can be the inverse of it. Everybody see what I'm saying? So let me ask you a question. What do we do and what do we get when we multiply these two things? Anybody? When I multiply 2 by 1/2, what number we just get? What's the answer? Guys, what's the answer? 2 times 1/2. What's 1/2 of 2? 1. And what do we call 1? 1 in the identity. Everybody realize what's going on now? When you multiply 2 inverses, you have to get back the identity. So in this case, if I multiply 2 over 3, and what's the inverse of 2 over 3? Thank you, 3 over 2. My answer is going to be 1. So again, the same concept, inverses. The same rule here. I should just put the arrow so you could see it's the same thing. Same thing here. Same rule. Inverses cancel each other out to give the identity. Let me know when y'all finish. Copy this down by saying done, please. Anybody else finish? Okay. Now let's read the notes that we have and see if we can understand the concept. All I wanted to make sure is you understand. So these two are the additive inverse. So when you apply them together, when you add them together, we get 0. That's exactly what we talk about. Everybody with me? Number plus inverse equal identity. 0 is called the identity element for addition because adding 0 to any number leaves the number unchanged. N represents any number. So n plus 0 is n. Everybody with me? Okay. Next one. Same thing here. So let's look at this example here. So you know, just like what I was explaining to you before, the identity of addition would never just be 0 because it's matrices we're dealing with. So that's why you have 0, 0, 0, 0. And when you add it, because you know, how do we add two matrices? We add the elements in the same position. So this would be added to that. And then using the different colors, B would be added to that. C would be added to that. And D would be added to that. So don't forget, that's how we add. Now, this is the part here now where things get serious. Everybody remember that this means inverse, right? Let me make sure. Yeah? With the -1 power. In matrices, we can't divide by a matrix. We can't divide by a matrix. So if you want to find something or you want to eliminate, they would quicker tell you multiply by the inverse. So let me show you what I mean by that. Usually, if I had 3a is equal to 6, let's say I want to multiply, I want to make a the subject. What would we normally do? We would normally do what? Divide by 3 on both sides. Agree or disagree? But because matrices is not a single thing, we cannot divide by a matrix. What is another way of saying divide by 3? Another way of saying divided by 3 in means to multiply by 3 inverse. Tell me if you remember that, because I taught this. That ain't the same thing as multiplying. And let me break it down even more. If I say, and let me use 2. I'm going to take my time and break it down. If I had 2a is equal to 4, isn't dividing by 2, so dividing by 2 ain't the same thing as multiplying by a half. Isn't there another way to write half? Don't we write half as 2 to the minus 1? Because a half is 2 inverse. If you got it, say got it. And if you don't remember this, this is one of the laws of indices. A to the negative 1 is equal to 1 over A. It's the same thing. So you see how all the algebra rules coming in? Talk to me, because if you don't got it, what I'm going to do next is going to be like confusing. So what I am saying is that because we can't divide in matrices, what we would do instead is multiply by the inverse, because that's something you could find. So let's do some practice of that concept. If I had 3m is equal to 6, and I want to get rid of 3, I'm going to multiply by the inverse, because we know what has happened when you multiply the inverse by each other. They don't cancel each other to give you 1. Whatever you do to one side, you got to do to the other side. So what going to happen here? This going to cancel. So m is equal to 6 times 3 inverse. And you know what 3 inverse means. 3 inverse means divide by 3. Similarly, let's do another one. If I had 5p is equal to 25, how do I get rid of the 5? I multiply by 5 inverse, because you're going to cancel it out. Whatever you do on one side, you do on the other side. No, this is the concept they give us here. Look at this. They're saying m and n inverse are the opposites of each other. So when you multiply them, you're going to get 1. So essentially, you could cancel 1 by multiplying it by its opposite. Yeah? So let's move on to an actual question to see how we're going to work this out. But before we do that, there's some things that we need to learn first. The first thing that we're going to learn is something called a determinant. So everybody watch this for me, please. In your notebooks, you're going to write out this formula. This symbol of A means the determinant of A. Now, let me tell you from now, this symbol actually means something else in vectors. Vectors just use these exact 2 lines, so you've got to remember the difference between it. In matrices, these 2 lines mean the determinant of A. Here they use M, it's the same thing. Everybody with me? So if I do this of M, what does this mean? This means the determinant of M. Everybody make sure you say determinant out loud to kind of help your brain memorize it. So say determinant out loud. You're going to hear that word a lot. You're going to use that word a lot. Now, the determinant has a formula. When you learn about matrices, they say in the order we learn it, first element, second element, third element, fourth, always. So that's why it has this order. This is always A, this is always B, this is always C, this is always D. So if you got that, say got it. So the determinant of M has a formula, which is AD, and anybody could tell me what AD means? What does AD mean? So what happened in between the A and the D? Excellent. Multiplication minus BC. Anybody realize when numbers being multiplied? Look at the positions. So that means you're multiplying A times D minus, what do we call AD? The leading diagonal. So you can put here leading diagonal. We did this last class, minus non-leading diagonal. Because watch where BC is. If you got it, you got it. This, put this in your book, put it in a box. This formula you must memorize. This formula don't come on the exam. You need to know this out your head. So before we get to the second point, I want to do a test run. So everybody in your books, example 1. A is equal to this. B is equal to that. One. Find. Everybody try that for me now.
Episode 1 of Kuba. So because I'm so if you like content like this, like, share, subscribe. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, hit that little bell notification.
When you're done, sit on.
Like, well, I don't care about this bitch or that bitch. All Stop radio. She said, I want your spot. How can I manipulate everyone to get it? I'm gonna detail that though, in the following episode. It's gonna be like, so
Anybody else finish? You are working it out? If you're not working it out, that's fine. I just don't want to be here waiting and you're not doing it. So you could tell me so I could move on. What answer y'all get? What answer y'all got? Okay, Araba got okay, we got 2 different answers, guys. Oof. Anybody else? 10 and 6? Now they say what you get. I'd get 10. Okay. Anybody else? So let's try. So first thing first, you should know anytime you have a question that requires working, we gotta focus on the 3 steps to get full marks. Step 1 is what? Substitution. So formula. So what's the formula? AD minus BC. And we should know which digit is A. That's for everybody. Quickly. Don't got me here waiting 40 years. Thank you. What element is B? C. That's 2. What element is C? 4. And what element is D? So that means this should be 6 times 3 minus 2 times 4. So this would be 18 minus 8. So our answer should be 10. Next one quickly. 2, make sure you have these examples in your book. Find B, the determinant of B. Now listen to me. Sometimes they will give you the word and say, find the determinant of B. And then other times they would, for this purpose, let me write the word. Find the determinant of B. So that way you have an example of both. You have where they use the symbol, and then you have one where they use the words. So let's go. Try to do this a little faster for me. Apparently, it might start snowing in the Caribbean, you know. Apparently, it's snowing really bad in Florida. And if the winds start to come towards the south, places like Jamaica and Haiti and you lie. Did it don't reach Jamaica for real? That's crazy. Wow. I'm gonna look for it on TikTok after class. I didn't know it would have reached so fast. All right, so everybody get 18. Okay, let's check it out. Let's see. Step 1, write the formula. So our formula is AD minus BC. If you know you're doing your formula sheets, this is what the first one that you should have. So we should have 10 times 5 minus 4 times 8, right? So then this would give me 50 minus 4 times 8 is 32. So that should give me 18. Excellent. So everybody good to go with the first formula? Pretty simple, right? It is simple, but in the heat of exam, for some strange reason, people just make mistakes. So I need y'all to promise me to remember. The next one that we're going to do is called the adjoint. This is a spelling error. This is not how we spell it. I don't know what is that, adjunct? The correct thing is adjoint. Adjunct? I don't know why they're just doing that. That's not what it is. Anyways, the adjoint now, you have to do something to a matrix. And I'm going to put it in 2 steps. The first thing you're going to do is switch A and D. The second thing you're going to do is multiply B and C by -1. How do I write this better? Let me use the word multiply. Multiply B and C by -1. So everybody watch this quickly. So if you see, you got A, B, C, D, that's the regular arrangement. To get to the adjoint, you switch. So where A was, D gonna be. Where D was, A gonna be. And then this multiplied by negative, this multiplied by negative. So let's quickly do this example. Let me see if y'all catch it. So example, find adjoint of A. So A is equal to 3, -2, 5, 6. Anybody want to try it first? Try it first, and then I'm going to give you the answer. Follow the 2 steps. Switch A and D, multiply B and C by -1. Then tell me what numbers did you get after doing so. I have such a headache. Anybody get you? Anybody? Hello? Anybody out there? Hello, it's me. I've been wondering if after all these years you like to meet. Oh my goodness, Araba, Nadesia, I want you to talk to me with more confidence. Stop asking me questions and send your answer, please. You just know the thing, but you're always overthinking the thing. Send your answer, no man. Araba, how you get 28, sister? Sister Araba, how you do that? It tell you must do two things to the number. It tell you switch A and B and just multiply B and C by -1. How you get 28? Anybody else? Try it again and see. So there we go. The adjoint of A is, one number should be in position 1 now. Let's take it slow. It says switch A and B. So one number should be up here now. 6, correct. And one number gonna be down here. 3. That's the first step. That's all. You just switch the two. Then they said to multiply B and C by -1. So there's going to be times -1 times -1. Currently, this ain't positive. Sorry, this is negative. What do we know about a negative and a negative? A negative and a negative is a positive. So what number should I write here? +2, right? And then here, 5 times -1 is what? -5. That's the answer. Should I do one more example? Are we good? All right, let's do one more. No problem, I got you. So let's do another one. So example 2. B Let's do this together out loud. Let's go. What's the first element? We're going in order this time. What's the first element? Everybody, let's go. Everybody, come on and be tonight. Oh, guys only got me shine, so to everybody else. Let's be in this together. Send your answer, please. Only 3 people been answering. One to Rikayo. Me ain't seen Rikayo post nothing. Trev Wampin. Me ain't seen you post often either. Come on, ladies. Let's go, please. What is the first element? First element, correct, is 12. Second one, what's the second one? So 6. What's the second one, everybody? Okay. I'm trying to execute extreme patience right now. I'm really proud of myself. I'm waiting. What's the second element, people? So there's two things that have to happen. So let me try to see if I can clarify. To get the adjoint, you have to switch the numbers in position A and D, right? So in this case, let's label everybody. Maybe that might help. So this would be A. Let me get a different color. First of all, y'all watching? If I'm gonna be honest, if I'm wasting my energy right now, just let me know so I can go take a lead on. I'm here because I'm assuming everybody locked in. Like, if we finish most of this tonight, that means next class we could start focusing on past paper questions and strengthen your skills and understanding. Because this topic need a lot of practice. So I want us to get through this so we can go through that. So Gab confirmed she watching. What about everybody else? Because if we don't have everybody locked in, I'm not teaching this over. Thank you for responding so quickly. All right. So you see when you share that with me, I could do something about it. Okay. So that's why I asked for y'all to give me feedback, right? So let's go together. So what I'm gonna do first, I'm gonna label all the elements. So let's see if that helps. So let's zoom in on B first. Okay. So based on what the original matrix having, let's label the position. So let's go. This is gonna be A, this is gonna be B, this is gonna be C, and this is gonna be D. So let's check in here. Everybody understand that part first, that these are the letters and the original position. All right. So the first step is two things we got to do with these things. The first step says to switch A and D. So we got to switch A and D. That's all. Who is A at the moment? A is -6 and D is 12. So that means 12 will come up. So 12 will come up here. So now D is up here and A gonna be where? Down here. Then you said to do nothing else but switch it. So let's make sure everybody understand the switching part now. That's all. You switch the positions between these two. So these two is the ones that switch in the positions, right? Now, what is the next step? The next step says to multiply B and C by -1. So you should know who is B and C. B and C is always these positions. So I'm going to multiply by -1 to both of them. So what answers would I get from there, guys? Talk to me. So this is going to become -5 because it was positive. And anything times 0 is 0. And that's your answer. How are you feeling about it now? A little better? Should we do one more? Just one more? Because we can't do the next thing if we don't know it, right? Yeah, so we got to make sure we lock this down. So let's do example 3. Also, please to make sure you guys copy down the examples in your notebook. So when you're revising and studying, you remember what you did, okay? So let's do C. I'm going to do all negatives. So everybody, let's do it together. Adjoint. What's the first position? What's the first element? Let's go quick. Cramping. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Guys, want to everybody else come to man, make a better effort to respond faster. Let's go. Like, let's go. Thank you. It's -20. What would be the answer for position 2, which would be B? Listen to the question. What is in position B? I didn't ask what is in D. I didn't. Oof. Good job. What would be the next one? What would be the next one? So this would be negative 4, positive 4, sorry. Positive 4, sorry. And the last one. So it's going to be positive 4. This would be, what would be here? Sorry, 1, yeah. And then here would be negative 6. All right, if you got it, you got it now. If you feel like you understand it now, you got it. Okay, so now we're moving on to the most important thing you're going to learn in matrices, because this thing that we're about to do, they ask us to find this thing for many different reasons and in many different ways. But the point is, once you master how to do it, the reading part is going to come through practice and past papers and journaling, okay? So it's a lot of work, but if you understand the elements that we just did, which included finding the determinant and finding the adjoint, it's going to be super easy, and multiplying two matrices, okay? So let's take a look. So much pain. So if you take a look here, I want y'all copy down this formula just like how it is in your book. Oh, let's go back up. There's something I forget that we needed to write down. When it comes to the determinant, very important. This is come in the exam. You see the sentence here? If the determinant is equal to 0, so let's say you calculate the determinant and you get the answer 0, that's extremely important. That means that it does not have an inverse and is singular. Please copy that down. Can you hear me now? My internet dropping. Copy down this sentence and make this big. Like, get something, put 2 boxes, put a star by it. Copy this down. If you calculate the determinant, you know, which is AD minus BC, and it's equal to 0, that means there is no inverse. You can't find an inverse. The inverse does not exist for this matrix. And that's important because that comes in exam and student. They're always going to ask you why. You have to say it's singular. And being singular means you can't find an inverse. Okay? Can you hear me now? Y'all hear me now? So let's go. If we finish this part, we are gonna wait until next class to do the examples. I just want to make sure that we cover all of the small pieces so that when we in face-to-face, we could just start doing past paper exams, start practicing, okay? So everybody good to go with so say it again. Okay, I said when you calculate the determinant, remember what we did with the determinant, AD minus BC? If your answer is equal to 0, that means that the matrix that you found the determinant for does not have an inverse. It says it here in the sentence. Or we call it singular. Sometimes CX is going to ask you, if a matrix is singular, what does that mean? You should just say what? What is the answer to that question? It means it does not have an inverse. it means the determinant is equal to 0. Everybody understand what I'm saying? This question comes a lot. So this point is extremely important. All right? We could move on now. We almost finished because this is the last thing the last formula that we need to learn and understand. And then this, you see this whole box here? Everybody see this whole box here? Copy this down. The whole thing. This is the formula here to find the inverse. This is how you find the inverse. The inverse formula is 1 divided by the determinant times the adjoint. When you finish copy it, sit down so that I can then open up some examples for us to work through together. Once you're done, sit down, please. Thank you. Very good. There's 2 persons. Guys, anybody else finish? Okay, so now let's do some examples. All right, let's run it. Okay. So sticking. Okay, so let's go, guys.
Awesome.
I need Aya to pay attention to the steps because I'm gonna break it down and show you how to work it out. But I'm gonna use this example here and then we're gonna do the own example, right? So everybody copy down this should I explain first? Should I explain first, then you copy it down? Okay. So they ask us to find, so I'm gonna do it from scratch so you could see build from nothing. So they gave us a matrix. What's the matrix? They said B is equal to 6. You see, I say 6 and I write 2. 6, 2, 3, 4. They say find B. This. What does this mean again? This mean what? B inverse, right? What is the first step that we always write? Let's go. What's the first thing we always write down? When you're working on something, out of the 4 steps, what's the first step? Formula. What's the second step? Substitution. What's the third step? Can y'all hear me? Hello? Can y'all hear me? So let's go through the steps again. What's the steps for what calculating anything? Step one is formula. Step two is substitution. That means you put your values that you are managed by your formula. Step three, working. Step four, answer. So doesn't this have a formula? Yes, and that's something you have to memorize. It is one over the determinant of B times the adjoint of B. So guess what we got to go find out separately? We ain't got to calculate this part and then find this part for us to multiply. So let's go. So that means we're going to come to the side and we got to find B, the determinant first. Doesn't this have a formula? Yes, it does. AD minus BC. Everybody, please tell me the combinations I should have for my working. One number times one number minus what number times what number right now. Let's go. 6 times 4, is that true? Yes, because remember this is A, B, C, D. So it's going to be 6 times 4, thank you, cats, minus 2 times 8. Is that true, everybody? 2 times 8, thank you. So what we're going to end up with? We're going to end up with 24 minus what? 16. So what is the answer? Sorry, how do I get 8? That's 3. That's 2 times 3. 2 times 3 is 6. Sorry about that. This is a 3. I just realized. So no, what's the answer? 24 minus 6. 18. So everybody, we have one part to the formula. What's the next part we got to find out? We got to find the adjoint. So tell me the combination of the adjoint. The adjoint is equal to what? What's the first element in the adjoint? That's the one where you got to switch and multiply by -1. Excellent. So that's going to be 4. What's the next element? Very good. -2. Next. -3. Very good. And the last one is 6. Very good. Now that we have these two things that we need for our formula, we gotta go back to the formula because this ain't the most important thing that we actually trying to get. This is the focus, So let me explain something to you guys what students just do. Students just find this, they just find this and forget. They think that's it. Aren't we trying to find the inverse? So now we got to go back and put this in the formula. So B inverse is equal to 1 over the determinant. So that's 1 over what? 18. Times our adjoint, which is now what? 4, -2, -2, -3, 6. Now, be honest with me. Anybody remember how to apply this? Because we did this last week at our last class. When we was doing scale and multiplication. So all I need to know is yes or no. Do you remember how to apply this, how to multiply these two things? Just a yes or no, simple, to be honest. All right, so let's take a look. That's perfectly fine. Thank you for your honesty. Remember, this a multiplication. So if this was a whole number, suppose this was regular 18, I would have just multiplied all numbers by 18. But because this is this, what does actually mean? This ain't mean divide by 18. Remember, multiplying by a half is the same thing as dividing by 2. That ain't true. Multiplying by a fifth is the same thing as dividing by 5. Multiplying by an 18th is what? Dividing by 18. Peoples? So this gonna become what? 4 over 18, -2 over 18, -3 over 18, 6 over 18. Is this my final answer? Because what we could do with all these things, we can break it down. One number could go into 4 and 18, 2. So you break this down. So that can become 2 over 1, 9. So the answer for this is 2 over 9. This is going to become 1. Anybody? Let's see if you are thinking. This is going to become 1. -1 over 9. Do you agree? Because 2 into itself goes once, 2 into 18 goes 9 times. What about this one? What would this one become? Show me that fractions don't phase you. What is this? Does 3 and 18 have anything in common? Yes, they do. 3 into itself goes once, 3 into 18 goes 6 times. So this one will become -1 over 6. Last one. What the last one going to become? Anybody? 6 into itself goes 1. 6 into 18 goes 3 times. So our answer is going to be 1 over 3. And this now is the final answer. B inverse is equal to that. If you got it, you got it. Copy this down. I tell her we're going into a deeper paths of maths. Nothing about this. Be honest. Is anything. Of course, we're gonna do 3 more before we end class tonight. That's all we're doing for the rest of the night. We're not doing anything else because I need to make sure you're strong in this. Because what we're gonna do next week, Monday, is gonna be things that need this. Okay? So we're gonna do a few more practices. Can y'all copy that down, please? And when you finish it done. I'm gonna give you a few to do, and I think this handout itself, I think it should have some additional examples that you can look at. Also, please don't wait until class to look. You could literally try to read through it on your own, right? Y'all done yet? Don't forget, as soon as you finish it done, and we're gonna do some practice. Okay, guys. So let's do, I have a worksheet here that we're gonna do. I was trying to find one that gave us whole numbers, but you know how these things go. Let me see if I see any examples here that we could use that not as bad. Mhm. You know what? Let's just jump into some CXC questions then. So example 2. I have confidence in you guys, so I don't want to say, oh, that one looked too hard. I think it's better for us to try them and do them together, right? So let's do this one. A is equal to -3,214. Y'all ready? So I could just work it out and y'all watch for now. So for this example, should I just work it out so you could get accustomed to the steps, and then the next one we try it together? So this one you just look. I just want to make sure if this works for you guys, right? That's okay? All right, so let's do that then. So if they say find A inverse, the first thing that should come to your mind is our formula, which you have to memorize. A inverse is equal to what? And you should be trying to remember it with me. 1 over the determinant of A times the adjoint of A. So you know to find the inverse, you gotta find those two things. So let's find the first thing. Let's find the determinant of A. How do we do that? We always start off with our formula, AD minus BC. For me, just in case I get confused, let's label each element. So this would be my A, this is my B, this is my C, this is my D. So we're gonna substitute. So you see formula, substitute, working answer. So this will become -3 times 4 minus 2 times 1. Everybody agree with this one? Everybody okay with this? That's the correct substitution? Awesome. So now we have -12 minus 2, which gives me, what is the answer for this? Remember, we're trying to strengthen the integer rules. So what is that? -12 minus 2. Nobody? Thank you, Kat. -14. So now that we found the determinant, the next thing that we need to find is the adjoint. So we know the adjoint is 2 steps. What's the 2 steps? The 2 steps is to switch. So let me just label, because you have to label it. Adjoint is equal to, we got to switch A and B and then multiply B and C by -1. So we're going to end up with, instead of -3, 4, we're going to switch. So that's going to be 4. This is positive, so this is going to become negative. This is positive, so it's going to become negative, and then this is going to become -3. So now we have everything that we need to find the inverse. So let's write down. So A inverse, again, is equal to 1 over what? -14. Everybody agree? Times 4, -2, -1, -3. So let's go. You realize all of this is negative, right? So let's see if you would have do it correctly. So this is equal to bracket 4 over -14. But guess what? That makes all of this negative. Anybody realize that? So let's do the next one. -2 over -14. You should see what's going to happen here. -1 over -14. -3 over -14. So let's go. This could cancel. So this will give me 2, this will give me 7. So no, that means my overall answer is -2 over 7. Everybody agree? Everybody okay? Over here now, we could cancel. The negative cancels a negative. So now we got positive. And 2 into itself goes once. 2 into 14 was 7 times. So we're going to have positive 1 over 7. Please pay attention to how you deal with the negative signs. This and this going to just cancel. So we're going to just end up with positive 1 over 14. Same thing here. This can cancel this. And we should know that this can't cancel because 3 is a prime number. So it can become 3 over 14. If you got it, say got it. I'm going to zoom out. So you could copy down the question. Let me know, is this hard to you or is just a lot of work? Because this is just the beginning, yeah? But is it hard for you? To me, it ain't hard. It's just a lot of work. And honestly, the more you do, you're gonna realize it ain't that much work. Because it got some questions with some work. I think this is a lot of work. This ain't a lot. The thing what we gonna do on Monday, Elena, I know. Like this is just the tip. This is just this the cover. So let's do example 3. H is equal to. We're gonna do this one together now, where you're gonna tell me what to write, just to kind of build your confidence and for you to try memorize the steps. Find H inverse. Mm. Let me know when y'all ready, please, by saying ready. All right, my loves, let's go. So what is always step one, everybody? Step one. And I expect to see everybody saying what step one is. What's step one? Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Formula, right? So H inverse is equal to 1 over the determinant of H times the adjoint of H. What's the next thing I'm going to do now? Do we have what we need to substitute already? No. So what we need to do first before we could substitute, because that is the next step. But before we get there, we got to find something first. What we got to find? Excellent. Everybody agree? So for us to find the inverse, there's two things we got to find first. The first thing is going to be the determinant of H. Everybody agree? And in your mind, you should already be thinking about the formula. So the determinant of H is equal to formula AD minus BC. So tell me the combinations. Everybody type out the combinations. What times what minus what times what? Okay. Thank you, ladies. Thank you, ladies. Anybody else? Okay, so this is going to become 1. Negative 2 times 3, very good. Minus 0 times 1. So that can give me negative 6 minus 0. Excellent. So our answer is negative 6. All right. What is the next thing we need to find now? Thank you, love. So the adjoint of H. So call out the elements for the adjoint of H. Call out the positions. Call out the numbers. Position 1. Very good. Position 2. Position 2. Zero. Position 3, -1. Position 4, -2. Excellent. So what do I do next? Do I have everything I need now? Are we good to go? So now our next step is to substitute, right? So we're gonna have the H inverse is equal to 1 over -6. Do we agree? And then we pull back the adjoint. What's the adjoint? 3, 0, -1, -2. Do you think you could handle it from here? What's the first thing we got to do? And apply this to all the numbers. So the first number going to be what? 3 over -6. 0 over -6. -1 over -6. -2 over -6. Do we agree? So tell me the final answers now. What's the first position answer? Okay, anybody else? You think you're missing something? Are you missing something? So you know this is where you got to move it, because no, this gonna make the entire thing negative. Because remember, a positive divided by a negative is a negative. So the whole answer now, you don't need to put a negative in the denominator only. So you're gonna just be -1/2. Very good. What's the next answer? Me and I are gonna fight for -0 over 6. Somebody save the class. Who can save the class? Who can save the class? Thank you. Thank you. What are we nearly dead there just now, yeah? The whole class nearly canceled there. See, nobody was gonna write CXC again. I just sent an email and withdraw everybody. Like, I'm so dead serious. I'm done ready to fight. I want to take this opportunity from who? From the exam? Not from me, because I am only gone in for all this shit, so I put me through. I did my job, period. Ain't my fault. You get canceled. That's you. That's on you, boo. You should pay me for even canceling me and wasting my time. Period. Pay me for damages. So as I was saying, I want to take this opportunity to kind of clear up something. I want to understand the difference between these two things, because this is extremely important. 0 divided by 6 and 6 divided by 0. First question, y'all know the difference between these two things? And be honest, because I taught this, I did. And this is very important, especially now. Hello, good evening. I'm okay. How are you? Okay. Okay, so I'm in a class now, right? Is it possible for you to send me a WhatsApp with the dates, and any other information, and then I will just respond to you and we go from there. Okay. Okay, perfect. All right. Have a good evening. Okay, bye. Yeah, I have to put on my customer service voice there for a little minute. But who said maths error? Cat, if I was in class, I would have take out $10 out my bag and I'd have fling it on your table. I'd have make it rain on you. Which one is the maths error? Or you just use a calculator to cheat? Tell me the truth. You can't divide by 0. I want everybody to remember that. Anytime you see anything, the answer is undefined. Please copy this down. You cannot divide by 0. I know, right? Bye. Thanks, bye. sometimes TXT gonna be like, explain why this is undefined. And you need to know the only time something is undefined is when it's divided by 0. That's important. What is the answer for this one? 0 divided by 6 as well. Is there an answer for this one? If I got nothing and I divide nothing into 6 parts, what I get? 0. Please copy this down. You have to know the difference. It's very important. When you finish, say got it. All right, guys. So let's finish this up quickly. So this gonna be now. I want to change our answer now. What is gonna be now? I nearly start World War III in class by 0. Very good. What is the answer for here? Let me see if we focus in. Excellent, positive, because a negative will cancel the negative. So this would be just positive 106. Very good. And what about the next one? Excellent job, guys. Excellent job. Very good. That's the answer. How you feeling about it now? A little better? So y'all could do this next one on your own, please. Bring your book, bring your book, bring your book. So copy down example 3. And once we get example 4 right, we're gonna stop here tonight. So the next one is R is equal to 4 negative 2. Hold on there. 1. Two. Hold on there. Wait, don't do this yet. Don't do this one yet. So everybody should be doing this one now. Do R and tell me what your answer is. Guys, answer. What are you doing? That's not the answer. That is true, but that's not the answer. I want you to think like a math student. Look at the question. What the question asks you for? The question asks you for something. So you're on the right track. You don't realize something, but you have to answer the question. So answer the question for me. That question asks you to find something. And there's something that you learned that will be able to tell you what you should say to answer this question. That's what you're laughing for. What the answer be? I'm talking to myself. Hello? Hello? I mean, I am not focusing. Please to make reference to the information you have in your notebook. When you find something that should tell, that mean like, I am not making connections. Because we're doing this, y'all forget everything we just do. If you found the determinant, what's the value of the determinant? What is the value of the determinant after you calculate it? What does it mean when the determinant is equal to zero? Please look at your notes. What does it mean if the determinant is equal to zero? Thank you. That's your answer. Everybody see what I'm trying to say? If y'all don't learn how to do these kind of things, you're not gonna do well in the exam. You have girl, I'm trying to be serious, okay? What was I saying? Huh? When you start to calculate this, the first thing you should realize, this is how far you should have gotten. Because again, these are the things what would make you fail or pass the exam. These are the things you got to be mindful of. So let's go. Find R inverse. The first thing you should have done is write the formula. R inverse is equal to 1 over the determinant of R times R adjoint of R. After the adjoint of R. So you know the first thing you got to find is the determinant of R, which is equal to AD minus BC. This is equal to 4 times 1 minus 2 times 2. This is 4 minus 4 equals 0. Once you get this, the determinant, so you're supposed to say, since the determinant of R is equal to 0, it is singular, therefore has no inverse. If you got it, say got it. I tell all the examiners do this all the time. So imagine you seeing them there this whole time doing calculation and there's no calculation to be done because that's the question, that's the answer. So this last one, all I want is the answer and then we're done. I had to do this example because I need to show you all the importance of paying attention to details, making connections with your notes, okay? So the next question, last one, is let W equal 6 negative 280. This one gonna require calculation. Find W inverse. Log intro. Should I start? Can I start? Okay, very good. Want to make it to the end, that's a victory in itself. How everybody else getting through. So I'm gonna start someone, right? So we have here W inverse is equal to 1 over the determinant of W times the adjoint of W. So we know that we gotta find the determinant. So AD minus BC. So that is 6 times 0 minus -2 times negative 2 times 8. So that will be 0 minus -16. A negative and negative is a positive. So you can get positive 16. Then the adjoint is equal to 0 to -8, 6. So W inverse is equal to 1 over 16 times 0 to -8, 6. So we can end up with 0 over 16, 2 over 16, -8 over 16, 6 over 16. So that will give us 0, 1 over 8, -1 over 2, 3 over 8. That's how you get out. You cancel wrong. Remember, 2 can go into 16 8 times. 8 could go into itself once, 8 could go into 16 twice. See the mistake? Everybody, how we looking? Everybody else? Everybody think they're okay with this, at least enough for us to be able to use this for class on Monday. So I should be able to start teaching the actual topics, the actual 60 questions that require a lot of work. But it's just the beginning, yeah? So please, this is all I'm gonna ask of you. I'm gonna ask of you to make sure when you come to class, you remember how to multiply 2 matrices. That's very important. You remember how to find the inverse, and then also try to ensure that you read ahead. Just read ahead a little bit, so that when we come class, you can, even if you can't understand what you read, at least you know what you're gonna be learning. Okay? I agree. Even though I wasn't feeling so good and whatever, I feel like we were able to accomplish a lot. So everybody, okay? If you got it, say got it. Once I see everybody say got it, we will sign off there. So that's 1, that's 2, that's 3, 4, 5. All right, ladies, we on the mission to pass CXC and cover as much as possible. So please be prepared that Monday class gonna be till 8 and it's gonna be long. All right, have a good night. See you guys on Sunday. Bye.